what that group of people is doing, clapping and singing. Well, there's a religious camp here, and they're doing their thing there. I'm in a mooring here on the inlet with 3 or 4 other boats. There's a dock up by Chatterbox Falls, but that seemed too crowded, so I took the dinghy over. It's a very beautiful place. I hope to stay here all day tomorrow, maybe read. If the weather's clear, I'll go again by Chatterbox Falls. There's lots of oysters here, but kind of already did the oyster thing today. Well, they're having a great time. Day 2 in Princess Louisa Inlet is again a beautiful day. These are some of the mountains that were just adjacent to where I was moored for the night. I'm going to motor over now to the dock over by Chatterbox Falls. That's the view looking down the inlet towards Jervis Inlet. Real high mountain. This really has to be one of the most beautiful places on earth. There's the little anchorage that I was last night. Those mountains up there, they're about a mile high. Still heading down the inlet, going to the waterfall. I hope these videos bring back some of the beauty. Wide-angle lens would be nice. There's the end of the inlet with Chatterbox Falls. You can see the dock there. There's the falls off in the distance. And when we get up there, we'll take some more pictures. We're in the boats. Right there, I guess. That's where I didn't stay for the... And here's a view of the head of Princess Louisa Inlet. You can see the 3 waterfalls that come in. One in the center being the one that leads down to Chatterbox. This is a shot of the very lovely path that leads up to Chatterbox Falls. Sure looks like a North Pacific rainforest. And there's a little babbling brook along the side. Notice how the trees are just totally covered with moss. That's probably from all the spray that comes off the falls and keeps it just perpetually damp and wet. More of the same rainforest path. You can hear the sound of Chatterbox Falls off in the distance, and soon you'll see it. I'm just near the base of the falls now, and I'm just shooting this so you can see all the spray coming off it. Must be beautiful with the sun at the right angle. It must be a pretty rainbow. Here's a little disclaimer. Must have been put here by the risk manager. 12 people have lost their lives by not observing this warning. Well, here I am right next to it. Probably doesn't pick up the right perspective. The fall is about, I'd say, maybe 100 feet high with a lot of water coming down it. I'll go down by the bottom and look up again. Very nice waterfall. Chatterbox Falls. And now I'm out on those slippery rocks that they say 12 people have lost their lives in. Well, I'm alright. Don't worry, gang. I'll be around for another 2 weeks or so. I'll pan across into the inlet. There's all the spray being blown out. There's a nice cataract here going out there. There's a couple of boats anchored. I guess no point zooming in. There's the canyon walls about a mile high. And way off to the left is the dock that's provided by the government. I'm tied up here just now, and I'll probably go back and try and get back on the same mooring that I left earlier if it's still available. Tomorrow morning I plan to go out at about 8:30 at flat water to Malibu Rapids and head down maybe to Harmony Island, to Tender Harbor, and then back to Fall River to meet Marty and hopefully Yuri Muharski. It's a wonderful contemplative place. Being alone on the boat has given me a chance to catch up on a number of odd jobs, do a little reading, take a nap. I'm not such bad company. Before I go, I thought I should take a picture of these very pretty moss-covered rocks and trees sitting here down by the base of the falls. I'm the only one here at the falls right now. Everybody's back at their boats. You kind of come down here, you take a look at the falls, and then you hang around in your boat, and then you leave the next morning, I guess. Maybe stay a day. There's a cloud. Still a nice blue sky. It's a warm day, up in the high 70s or low 80s. All very tropical looking. That's too close. Easy to step in. Well, but you thought I moved on to another topic. I just wanted to shoot a little more. I just got pretty up here. I'm going to show you a picture of my shoes. Showing those because I just found out that they're coming apart right at the toe there. These are my super expensive shoes that I bought before going to Italy. They've taken me to Italy, 2 trips to the Pacific Northwest in about a year and a half wear. So I've just gone through the heels on this trip and the toe is coming unstitched. I'll try and sail it with sail thread because I'm kind of partial to it by now. If it doesn't focus. But back up to here. That's really very lovely. Well, Rosie, I wish you were here. You may like hot sand. This is my cup of tea. This is a picture of the size of Princess Louisa Inlet from the little anchorage that I'm in next to McDonald Island. The sun's going down and you can see the shadow of one rim projected over on the other rim. Pretty nice. Today is July 13th and I'm in Pirates Cove in the Gulf Islands with Yuri Muharski and my brother Marty. Hey, look this way, Yuri. Yuri's just won with Yuri Bunkov and his collaborators the Russian Prize for Science. Here's Pirates Cove. It's what they call a marine park. Just a nice anchorage. We motored across the Straits of Georgia this morning with no problems. My VHF radio seems to be acting up, so I'm going to have Roz bring one out in a couple of days when I meet him in Victoria. Yuri's car is parked in Victoria, so I'll unload a bunch of stuff there, and the boat will be a little lighter for the trip down the coast. And that's Marty down there.
Picture of me sleeping with a video cam.
Right.
Want to hear my sound? Want to hear me snore?
That's alright. We heard that last night.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Hi, Rose.
So there's really only, let's see, today is Tuesday, and we'll be in Victoria on Friday, when that ends the Inside Passage part of Dancer's Cruise. And then I'm headed down the coast, and we'll see how that works out. This has been a lovely time the last week and a half. We've had beautiful weather. That compensates a lot for all that rain the first 4 weeks. That was no fun, although I still had fun. I didn't have the high that I had last year, but I had a great time with Benjamin and Neil and other people who came along, Tom Peterson. So maybe more later. We're going to go over here to the shore, and this is the morning of July 14th. We left Pirate Cove a few minutes ago, and we're just motoring slowly down to our next anchorage, which is probably around 15 or 20 miles from here. We don't have a whole lot of distance to cover to Vancouver, so we're just kind of taking it easy. Today started off with a lot of rain in the morning. It's about noon now. We had waffles for breakfast. I'm just showing you the shoreline that's very interesting along an island we're passing. It seems to have cliffs made of limestone, not limestone, sandstone, which are eroded in an interesting way from maybe storms that have blown in from the sea. There's also these really interesting red trees on the shore. There's a description of them in Muriel Blanchet's book, The Curve of Time, but I've forgotten the name. They begin with an A. This island we're passing by is across from Pirates Cove, and the chart says that it's an Indian reserve. As you can see, the sea is totally flat. I guess I shouldn't call it a sea. We're in the Gulf Islands. I was planning tonight to stop in another of these marine parks called Montague Harbor, but we've stayed in two now, and although the harbors are pretty, there's an awful lot of boats there, and the water's not very clean. So maybe we'll be creative and pick out something of our own. Everything's going along just fine, and we'll just watch out for rocks and logs and continue to have a good time and end up in Vancouver. I don't mean Vancouver, I mean Victoria. Then the big jump down the coast to home. Today is the 16th of July, 1993. Last night, Marty, Yuri, and I sailed from Montague Harbor on Galiano Island down to a bay about 8 or 9 miles from Victoria. The bay turned out to be the home of the Royal Victoria Yacht Club that gave us a nice reception and let us stay there overnight. We're now motoring to the Victoria Inner Harbor, and I'm showing for you some of the houses along the coast. We just ran into thick fog for a few moments, and it was a place where the passages were rather narrow, so I was GPSing and fooling around, but now the fog has lifted. However, around the corner, there's still fog there. We'll see if I'll be able to see Victoria. The waterfront homes are very large. Some of them are of a sort of fake Tudor style, like that one. The Royal Vic Yacht Club was a beautiful facility, the nicest tub I've been in my life, with a well-manicured lawns and a very big harbor. They seem to have about 8 or 9 permanent employees and an active junior program and racing program. Marty and Yuri washed the deck of the boat today. Yuri's going to unload some stuff tomorrow, and late in the day I'll pick up Roz and Jim, and then on Sunday Jan Northby, and we're off for the Straits of Juan de Fuca and what lies south. This, I guess you could say, was the very last passage, the very last piece of my journey back from Ketchikan on the inside, and it's with poignant memories that I leave it and start up. Today is July 17th. I'm in Victoria, British Columbia. I'm standing next to Dancer in government floats, which are in front of the legislature buildings, which you see lit up in lights. It's about 11 o'clock at night. And over here, I don't know if you can see it, is the Empress Hotel. A beautiful turn-of-the-century railroad hotel. Victoria is just a lovely city, and we've had wonderful weather. Roz, Ian Kulesko, and Jim Fox arrived yesterday, and tomorrow when Jan Northby comes, we will leave for Suk Bay, and then Nia Bay after that, and then head out into the ocean for the trip back. Here's Dancer tied up. We're pretty much ready to go to sea. We installed Julio's life raft in the cockpit, and I have a new VHF on board. Tomorrow I'll rig the lee cloths and show Roz and Jim how to sail the boat, and then we should be ready to go. Well, it's about noontime on July 18th. I'm just going to show a scene of where we're anchored. I showed you last night that building lit up with the lights. There's spelled out in flowers, welcome to Victoria. And that's the promenade that's going all around the harbor here. There's old Dancer, and there's the Empress, and a few more boats around us here. And there's the harbor going out. There's my new crew. That's Roz, Ian Kulesko, and that's Jim Fox. The boat's all ready to go to sea, so when Jan Northby comes, hopefully in another couple of hours, we'll get underway. I just rigged the sea berths, or I should say the weather cloths, and I hope they'll work out okay. I think that one of the prettiest things about Victoria is just all the flowers you see every place. Just a profusion. Most people have very nice gardens. There's a well-known wax museum over there. We're going to go have lunch at the British Columbia Natural History Museum, which is supposed to be good. That's kind of a tourist thing that you're supposed to go down and see some octopuses and scuba divers in the harbor. There's some nice-looking condominiums around the harbor, which I think have tried to capture the architecture of the Empress Hotel. They're modern condos, but they look pretty nice. Here's the inside of Dancer with the weather cloths rigged up. That's supposed to keep Northby and I in place, and if we roll around too much, we'll stuff in some fenders, like I used to do on Isadora. The idea here is that the hooks have slip knots on it, and so when you're laying on your back, you can release the slips and lower the lee cloth and climb out of there. Well, we've just cast off, and I'm taking this last picture of the harbor. There's the Empress and the legislature buildings that you saw before, and the Waxy Museum, and so on and so forth. So next stop, Suk Bay. I should mention that Jan Northby came on board 10 minutes ago, and we're just leaving. Let me just try and show you what it looks like to be on night watch, floating across the ocean in the dark. Everything's dark all around us, except the instrument. That's the port compass. And we can see the instruments up here. The speedometer, wind indicator, depth sounder. There's the GPS, friendly glowing face, and down to the port compass. There it is. Someplace. Anyhow, there's not really enough light. See what's going on here. You can hear the squeak of Maryland in the background. That's our Tuggy engine. It's almost flat calm. Been floating for the last 6 hours. If we don't get some wind, we'll have to refill the tanks, and we might have to put it on the coast to get more fuel. We'll see what tomorrow will bring. It's about 2:30 a.m. right now.
And
Hey, Jim.
yes, sir.
Why don't you sit down here a minute?
Where?
Oh, any place. I just gotta
There, I'm out of your way.
get some record of what's going on.
Of the super helmsman, huh?
Yeah, well, we're sitting here. It's July 26th or so, and we're in Eureka. And this is Jim Fox, and that's Jan Northby up there, and Rozzy and Koleska is someplace wandering around. And we came in here yesterday after running through a gale for 15 or 20 hours, and I made the decision that we're going to bail out here and get somebody else to deliver it. So we're just kind of cleaning up the boat here. It doesn't look very clean, but
It looks cleaner than it
yeah,
was.
but it will be.
Boat soup.
Yeah, boat soup. You have anything to say about this wonderful, calm thing?
Yeah, do it again. Let's go to San Francisco.
Yeah, I was ready to go to San Francisco. I wish I didn't have to go home and work on a paper, that's for sure.
Yeah, really.
And I wish I had a fork.
Oh, I'm
Wish you
sorry.
had a fork.
I'm sorry, the cook's screwing up again. There you go.
Thank you kindly.
All right, and don't eat all of that orange. Dick wants another section,
Oh,
so do
no,
I.
no, I don't want any.
Okay, well, I want another section, so you can have 3/4 of it.
So Jim and Jan are kind of the heroes of the hour because they kind of saved our tail in this gale because I was sick and Raz didn't really have the experience to drive at such high speeds. So those guys stayed at the helm to point of exhaustion, surfing down what we would call mountainous waves.
Yeah, I calculated. Ross said that we made 171 nautical miles
In
25 hours,
yeah.
and that's 6.84 knots average.
And most of
And
that
that's
was,
above the hull speed of the boat.
Yeah.
So we stayed over hull speed for 25 hours.
And that's with probably less than 15 or 20 square feet of sail out.
That
Well,
was,
Just a little tiny handkerchief of a jib.
Well,
that was
for
with
about,
half
what?
the jib or less.
Oh
well,
yeah, much less than half. I know what it looks like.
well, we had the double reefed main up or the main up for maybe 6 or 8 hours. And the rest of that time it was just the jib and not a whole hell of a lot of that. Yeah, yeah. It's been an educational experience, Dick. You pick fun things to do.
Another thing I said, oh yeah, well definitely I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
That's right. I would do it again in a
I'm
minute.
going to calibrate you guys though, because when I drove back from the airport with the car, I held it at 50 miles an hour, which is about what the peak wind gusts were, and opened the window and just put my hand out. And I said, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Now you try to stand up straight in that, and you can't.
that's right. That's right.
Uh,
Well, do you
It was-
think we
it was
ever
real.
do you think we ever really got 50?
well, I,
mean-
said 43 knots.
Oh,
comes to
yeah.
50 miles an
Oh,
hour.
right, exactly. Okay.
And
Yeah.
I definitely saw 43
What the
knots.
hell is that?
Must be Roz.
No, it's just the.
Oh, it's the sail up.
I think I better get it down before we get a wind up
No,
here.
there isn't any wind right now. I think it's just sort of flopping.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a touch of a breeze.
Well, you just get to the point where anything that's going on in the boat, you know, you're so tuned into it that you want to know what it is.
Exactly.
Oh, it's not an earthquake. I know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, like you said, it's been an experience. We all did it for an adventure and some experience, and we
Yeah.
came out of it with a boat in our skin. So
And everybody knows more about themselves, and we know more about each other.
And I think at least 3 of us would like to go back and take up where we left off.
Yeah, I really think Roz is. I think Roz is ready to get
I
off the
think
boat.
Roz-
Yeah, I think he was ready to get off the boat on Wednesday.
yeah, I had never seen a look of sheer terror before. That was the first time, which he readily admitted. He said, "I'm just
That's right.
terrified."
That's right.
And
And
fortunately, we had all seen enough ocean
yeah,
that we knew what it was, and
and you have to admire someone who can say that too, because it's hard to say I'm terrified.
yeah.
You know, it really is. So you have to admire somebody that can admit to that, because.
Well, if he was terrified, he certainly kept on doing what was necessary.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
So
right.
we
He never went to the catatonic state that I was afraid he might.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was a little worried of that one too.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
He
he came awfully close on Wednesday though, because on Wednesday he just kind of curled up in the bunk, and I thought, well,
That was-
okay,
that
Roz
was
is
scary.
Roz is not with us any longer.
That
You know.
was scary.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah.
And I thought
mean-
he might do that. He didn't do that in
No.
the worst part.
That's
And
right.
he came
That's right.
and
Came
did
through.
Whatever he could
That's right.
do
I
to harass and in good shape.
yeah. I'll give him credit for that. He functioned just as well as anybody else did. He functioned
He's got
within
more
different.
bruises I think, than anybody else.
Oh,
on the boat.
he took a terrible
Just trying
shot
to
here.
do all of this stuff of get this, get that
Yeah,
down in here while you're being tossed against the
that's
far
right.
wall.
He took a terrible shot there on that porthole.
Yeah.
Because he just got slammed right up against the side of the boat, you know, and he was just kind of froze there, and you could just see the pain just written all over his face. So,
Impaled on a boat fitting.
oh yeah, well, you know, he took the top of that, he took that catch and just bent it over 90 degrees with his butt, you know. That takes a lot of force to bend that over, you know.
Well, you've heard about a hard ass.
Oh man, I'll tell you, that's the first bronze suppository I ever saw. and he's sitting there going, my back, and I'm thinking, shit your ass. You know. But that just never seemed to bother him, so I guess he must be used to it.
Well, I think in about 7 or 8 years that I've had this boat, I haven't had any of the hardware break, even though it's lightweight. And Roz nailed 2 pieces. He got that one, and he got the little latch there.
This catch here that isn't here anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was memorable, guys.
It was fun.
I thank you for your good spirits. I think it was just a pleasure to have you both along.
Well,
that was fun. We'll do it again, in fact. We'll make sure we'll do it again. I may sail down to Antarctica.
Different boat. Yeah. What say we have a nice flush hold boat,
Yeah.
and maybe a little bit longer, and a little longer keel. So.
Difficult because I think it's a two-generational situation. If you immigrate, you're an immigrant. It's a wonderful thing. You have the culture you immigrate to, have signs in your language. When you integrate, what's better is started kindergarten, they spoke Yiddish. It was their only language of small children. When they hit the American school system, how? English with a correct accent. And we know from experience of having our own children in foreign schools how very rapidly that occurs. Yeah, especially with young children. And I think it's really a shame that the first generation doesn't have that. Well, they do. Just
You feel a country should not be bilingual in school.
correct. I think there should be bilingual remedial entree, you name it. I'm sure there wasn't for my mother. And kindergarten and first grade did help. With my aunts and my mother. Well, all of them spoke Yiddish till they started school. And then one, and you and I know by the end of 1 year in kindergarten, the kid is fluent in a second language.
I'd like to hear Anton speak now. And where she's at, where's now? She finally got her license. Very much travel school.
they can say, we're not gonna provide healthcare for the poor, or we're not going to have traffic lights. And, the federal government will intervene, but it's a health and safety issue. And with not providing them the speaking instruction, I'm sure the court will come up with some kind of health and welfare thing that they will provide. Because you can't be part of the presidential election, for instance, if you were educated in Spanish. You would have to be bilingual.
You have any question? No questions, I'm not sure.
I don't think we're trying to make it fail per se, but I think the Congress is business as usual. They're not going to let them lead. We need a new direction, because of the deficit in healthcare.
Trying to do that.
And they are just saying business as usual, which is mainly put it off till I'm done with my tenure in office and worry about it then. Doesn't mean anything to me, I'm fine, I'm happy. There's, he's not a Republican, therefore, they're not gonna let him without his vision, his leadership role.
The issue is,
I haven't heard anybody, any Republicans say, we need this. The last 12 years of the Republican administration have increased the deficit. As they enriched.
well, they, of course, they're claiming it, not just that.
And, well, it's true, I mean, but, this is a wonderful opportunity when you get a new president. And after a certain number of years go by, and you come in with this ability to do things that, and they're just killing it, and it's just a real tragedy. It's just, an opportunity's not gonna come for another 8 years, 10 years, 5 years. And it's back to business as usual, which means that, I'll be fine, it's the next generation, nobody cares about them.
South Korea, yeah, you can't make a run over the test because you just lose a clear level here. You have to have these tests, 15 more tests to ensure good possibility.
We won't use them, but that's not the point, we got them. And you're so,
You can see how an operation gets you strong and kind of look at it, not too early. That's why I want to do it.
I know, but I'm just saying, we need, these things are gonna fall into the hands of, food, Kazakhstanis, whatever's, million and a half whatever's.
It'll be the day before she's of the news. What did you say when you got Carl's house?
Are you kidding? It's like our hands are, something to the effect of, something about man going back to nature, not a lot of claptrap of this, and that nature was not a very pleasant place. And I think he's right, you know, we've been watching Channel 9 specials for 20 years, and it shows us idyllic, and they do not show you,
Well, but you know, it's that wild animals don't die in hospital.
not only that, but they're meat eaters. I mean, they
Not
get
for
their,
that.
they don't know what.
I read something about a zebra going to the rest of the
I told you about zebras.
but there was the most
The most cooperative mammal group, as they say, there's all kinds of cooperative things in nature.
Oh, I see.
That other animal groups don't understand. I've heard, monkey, humans.
How come you can't domesticate a zebra and ride it
I
off the
don't
horse?
know.
They should look like horses.
You know why they're striped?
Yes,
Oh my God.
because they were by a fence when they, in the painter painted them black and white.
No, it said, when they run as a herd, close together, which is how they do it, the predator, usually lion, cannot make out the individual zebra. He's got a moving wall of stripes. If the zebra is alone, grazing, the lion sees the outline. Just put it away, right? Take it away. The lion sees the outline of the prey, with the forelegs and the head and the tail on the front, yeah. But then when that zebra moves into a crowd, there's just this.
Well, if that's true, Roseanne, then why isn't every animal striped like a zebra?
Just tell me what I heard.
I mean, that was just my speculation.
Well, they each have their talents.
No, I mean, somebody there said, what can I find useful about the zebra stripe? And that's what it said.
Because that's the whole thing about a genetic pool.
Then why-
It would
why
be
would
very
they-
dangerous
Yeah.
genetically for all animals to have stripes. Because if the lion developed a sight adaptation, then you've lost all animals.
Oh.
Whereas zebras use this, giraffes use that. That way, if the lion develops an adaptation, you've still got all the other animal groups.
Did you know one of the zebra wars? Did you get that? When did the California?
In my case.
There used to be
Remember
some.
when we put that?
I was wondering,
Don't cry out.
as Ben gets older and stronger, I get older and I'm doing. right.
Oh, stop and stuff like this. My knowledge is the same.
I got a comic book a while ago that cost $2.50. And today I went to the same comic book store and they had the same comic. And it was in a bin with bins full of old comics. And they were selling the comic for $8.
Whoa, really?
Mhm. Except now I gotta think of who wants to buy it from me.
I learned certain skills last year with regard to fishing that I have forgotten. And I don't remember how to tie a knot with hook on. I go fishing this one. And as many different people have learned how to kill a halibut. I don't remember how to kill a halibut.
I could kill a halibut.
A salmon that is so nice, so polite. You're like, oh, you could eat on halibut already.
I think this is harder than brick.
I didn't think.
Oh, what? I can smash it against something and it won't fall. Punch me. Punch me.
Other than that,
Dear Lord.
hey, you used to be on there.
You know, Meryl wanted to take the video home.
Yes, I already called. But I told him to bring it back on Wednesday. I told him I'm packing it out.
One more time.
Sure, he doesn't know.
What is it?
What? I was guessing.
Oh,
What stuff is he?
well, if I'm right, he probably wants to, videotape and describe, not just video. I mean, you know, the way I do
I
it.
gave it 3 weeks ago.
I pan around.
He takes his dog every place now in his truck. That's great. Not only in the car, so you can follow him around. He's got lucky. Look at this. If I don't do anything about it, about taking scarecrows, you think you'll just go up and, just get a job to retire, and then they get you.
Have you ever been to Russia?
Huh?
Have you ever been to Brazil?
Well, you were in, I was telling you, talking about.
I want to go to South America. Really.
You should go down there and say, well, we're just gonna see how life's gonna be. Yeah. Job this week. Maybe the hospital will get in such bad shape that they'll say what we need to say. Anybody who wants to take a leave without pay for your, we'd be thrilled. Okay.
Yeah.
I think though there are administrators and there are administrators. I think your job really isn't administration. They would feel it's necessary.
Can I tell you one woman who wants my job is an MBA and PH?
Wants your job.
Wants the assistant business manager job.
Told me there was an older woman who was too young.
No, there's another one who's very well qualified.
Tell me about, more of us living sort of primitive, like primitive Indians, our shirts would be off all the time. We'd have a smoky lodge.
Hey guys,
We get to chew hides.
did you know I'm your lucky charm? I was asking for weeks and weeks to go on a convention for the first time. And at last we went and the day we went it was there.
That's true. If we had
I
been
don't
here,
call that coincidence.
if we had been here, we would have got our shit back.
Well, nothing happened actually, only the
Right.